All right, for our practice for 12.4, we're going to look at these composite shapes. So you've already had a lot of practice at this point with surface area, so these are going to actually kind of be a piece of cake here. So we've got this shape here, right, kind of is almost a trapezoid, but we can see, right, these aren't quite perfect and parallel. Right, I think eventually they're going to intersect. So we've just got to decide how are we going to break this up into pieces that we could find. So there's lots of different ways that you could do it. I mean, I could really cut it here and I could say, right, like, what is this base? And I could measure the height here. I could say, what is the base here and what is the height here? So that's one way I could explain it. I mean, you can draw a picture of that as well. So another way is, so I could, right, I could make a triangle here. I could make a triangle here. And then I can see, right now, these are parallel. So right, this one is just slanted a little. So now I have this trapezoid here that I could find as well. Base plus base times the height, cut back in half. So I could find that way as well. Lots of different ways to find this. I could cut it into a triangle, like different ways. You're just breaking it up into shapes that you know how to find. Okay, so number 15, you are going to draw a composite figure. So that means at least two shapes put together. So it needs to be either a four-sided shape or a three-sided shape, is what we know how to find. It has to have at least one slanted side. So composite, right? It's got to have at least two shapes, one slanted side, and when you're done, the area should be 24 square units. So you're going to want to break it up, kind of like we did up here, and measure it out using the squares as your guides. So if I'm just going to draw a random one here. And then if I said I'm going to add on this triangle piece. So I'm just going to see how close I am to 24. So I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's, ooh, gosh, guys, did not just do this. And then this is 2 by 2, 2 times 2, it's 4. Oh my gosh, I was so close because I have to cut it in half. Is 2, so I made mine 22. And there's my slanted side. It has two shapes. I was so close. So I just need to make my triangle a tiny bit bigger so that the area of my triangle was 4. Or I need to make my rectangle have 22, like 11 by 2 or something like that. So lots of ways to draw that. Two shapes, one slanted side, area of 24 total square units. So this is an example. Mine, right, is not correct. I only made it to 22 units, but you can go from there. Okay, so now we're going to look at these. So, right, every way I can cut these up. Like I could cut it up this way. I could have this shape and this shape. I could go that way. I could, even if I wanted, find all three of them. So really, it just kind of depends on what I want to go. I'm going to go this way because I can kind of see right here. This is 3. This is 7. So this rectangle is 3 times 7. So I know there's this 8 here, but that's for the entire thing. If I cut it up and down, you've got to make sure you're using the right units here. And then we have this one is 5 by 14. So this 8, right? If I put the 3 and the 5 together, this whole thing is 8. So that 8 had nothing to do with the way I cut it up. And then I'm just finding the area of each rectangle, putting it together, centimeters squared. Okay, number 17, I can see several shapes here. So I'm going to go there for one of them. And then, right, so this is another way to do it, is I have got this 4-sided shape here, and I can see I've got this triangle, and I'm going to take that triangle away. I could cut it up if I wanted to, and I could find this trapezoid and put them together. But I would think it's easier to find a square, like this rectangle shape, minus a triangle. Okay, so if I'm looking at this one here, we've got over 3 down 5 for that rectangle. And then for this big rectangle, It's over, oh, so see this 12, I got to be careful here, right? This is 12. This is only 9. So I almost did 12, because that 12 is that entire thing, right? 9 and 3 together make 12. Got to pay attention to that. And then my height is 8, so this is 9 times 8. So we're doing 9 times 8. And now I've got to find this triangle. So my triangle, the base is 8, the height is 3, cut in half, and I take that away. So here's my rectangle minus the triangle, add my two pieces together. Okay, over here, right, so again, right, I can see I've got this here, right, here's a triangle essentially, and a rectangle, so I can see this is 8 by 5, and then I have this triangle, the height of it is 8, it says, right, this is 3, this is 5, so the height is 8 by 5, but, right, then I have to cut it in half to get my triangle. So base is 5, height is 8, cut in half to get my triangle. Okay, let's look at this guy over here. So, I mean, I could cut across, make that one really big, long one. I've got to get this guy here. So, I mean, there's lots of ways you can cut it. So, I'm just going to go right here to start. And I think I'm going to cut it there. So, this one here, I can see this is 5 and this is 3. This part here is 3 and 3. And then I've got this part here is 5. This much here is 5, and I know this much here is 3. So this is 3. This is 5. So that's this part right here, right? This whole thing is 13. So I could also do 13 minus the 5 to give me that part right there. So two different ways should give me that same answer of X. So sometimes you might have to find that missing piece there to be able to figure out what is that dimension you actually need. So we have a 3 by 5, a 3 by 3, and a 5 by what? And put those all three together.